going to be talking about the must-do step in your business so that you don't burn out. Burning out is so simple, and it's kind of hard to avoid. So there are multiple levels that you, of course, are going to get burned out. Now, for me, of course, I still hit walls and get burned out. So to give you a little background on what I've been doing, for the past 15 years, I have helped small business owners get started in their business. Basically, my forte was taking someone who has a big goal, big dream for themselves, and they want to have their own business where they have their own thing, where they're making their own money. And I've been doing that for the past 15 years with small business owners, and I've been able to help them, first of all, plug into a system. And that's sometimes hard. That's like reeling cats sometimes. So plug them into a system and get them to follow that system. And sometimes I just have to give them a little bit of tough love. And when sometimes you have to give tough love, that actually trains people to actually be more independent and have more success. That's it. You got to work smarter, not harder. So for the past 15 years, I helped a lot of new entrepreneurs who had never done it before get started in their own health and fitness businesses, becoming very successful in their own right. Not millionaires in those businesses, but very popular. Some of them have become very popular and expensive public speakers. Some have created their own workout lines. Many have went off to go and be IFBB pro bodybuilder competitors. Some of them really have come to great success in their life, and I've been able to help them. Thankfully, had that opportunity to do that with them in their journey. So the past 7 years, though, that's where the money showed up. The past 7 years, I've been working in network marketing, and I aligned myself up with a health and fitness company. And in that, it started with me, one person. And growing the past 7 years, I have grown the largest organization within the company that has the most successful amount of people in it, the most amount of millionaires, the most top achieving coaches in the company. And I have over 160,000 people in my downline. So I've been able to, of course, keep learning, keep tweaking, and figuring out how to really help people be successful, especially in online marketing. So social media marketing, you just can't avoid it. Own it, accept it, love it, keep learning. Basically, that's all you got to do. So I'm a person, I will just boil it down for you. I'm going to help you out, teaching you one strong step that I've done in my business that has helped me not burn out so much. So you can burn out really fast, and I want to go through that. So here is where you have to focus on what you're doing in your business. If you find that you are constantly rewriting over and over again some of the same messages to people, or plugging people into a chase of pattern of what they should do when they get started in their business, or what's next in their business, or even down to how do they effectively share the business with people. If you're constantly re-explaining that over and over and over again, that's your problem. That will burn you out. So what really you have to think about is putting it into a system. Like I talked about, that's what I do as a living, is I think in systems. If you can put things more into templates and always have a base to roll off of, you're going to lessen your burnout. Pretty much a lot of professions, doesn't matter what you are doing, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to get burned out. You may love what you're doing, and you may be having a ton of activity happening and a lot of business happening around you, but that does come to a wall, because sometimes all of a sudden then it goes downhill and you're figuring out, whoa, what happened here? My business was going great. What happened? Now you gotta feverishly get your business to go again, and then it's not showing results, and then you start to get burned out because you're working so much. Even when I used to work in X-ray, they said that as an X-ray tech, there was a 2-year wall. That at 2 years of mark, you either got to get out of that business or you got to get over that wall and hump. And that was so true. At 2 years, I didn't look at people as people. I looked at them as annoying body parts that were going to prevent me from not doing work. So basically, when a full body series came into X-ray, I looked at it as I'm going to be in there for hours, X-raying a body, not a person. And that was my 2-year mark. And it's a horrible feeling to be in. And it also came in my next profession, which was in applications and sales. And that was, again, another 2-year mark of traveling. So at traveling, I was constantly at this burnout phase. I mean, it was amazing in the beginning, my first year of working and traveling the world for free, drinking some of the most expensive wines, eating in restaurants that I could never pay for myself, because that life of working in medical sales and applications was pretty sweet, and being in my 20s, and that was amazing, and single. But that does wear on you and you get burned out. So whatever you're doing, you tend to find you get burned out. And even in your own home businesses, constantly finding new people to work with you. Ugh. Constantly getting someone started and then they just don't start. Ugh. And then constantly looking for that sale so you can hit your mark and your quota for each month. Ugh. Like you finally get to this point of, I'm so sick of this. And then, do you have those emails where someone is emailing you and you type out this big long response, and then you get more emails and you type out the long response? Like you're constantly typing out these long response emails. That's going to burn you out, because then you'll just kind of not want to answer emails. They'll sit in your inbox for a while, even though it's business. Sometimes it's just annoying you. So yeah, it is a hamster wheel, and Fit with Danny's saying it. So that's what my topic is about, creating templates and systems. So I could talk about systems in a different capacity, but tonight it's about creating a foundational template that you can always use as your jump off. So what you want to do, first step, is brainstorm your business right now. So for instance, if you just get a pad out and you start brainstorming some of the activity that you have to repeat over and over again. So for instance, when you are responding to someone messaging you saying, hey, I'm interested, how much is it and what do I do? Because you get that question, don't you? I'm sure you do. So you probably answered that question multiple times saying the same thing. Here's the thing. Create a template message. Did you guys notice that Facebook actually saves those messages? So if you go into your Facebook, you're going to see someone who wrote you a message. If you look to the left, it says right there, you can send them an auto-generated reply that they have, but then you also can create a generic reply. Create your generic replies, and then when you are replying to someone, you use that one, but you just tweak and personalize it. Oh, there's a dang fly in here. Ooh, a fly. So you just tweak and personalize it. Yeah, in Facebook. So go into your inbox in Facebook and you're going to see over onto the left. And I don't use Evernote, so I can't give you Evernote, but I believe a lot of people do use Evernote and use templates. Your like page. Another reason why you should have a like page, right? So only on your page, which is also a like page, only laptop correct. I don't think so on your phone. I don't know. I can't say, because obviously I mostly work by messaging and my PC or my laptop or whatever you guys are using. Yeah. So just in your like page. So now, say for instance, you are just not smart enough yet to have a like page open. You should. And you're still using your profile page as your business. You're going to get shut down by Facebook. Just saying. Make sure that you have templates. Okay. So what I use is I will use a Word document, or I'll use just my sticky notes, my notes on my Mac, and I create these templates. So now, for instance, let me give you some examples. So I said your first assignment is to brainstorm some of the common activity that you just do over and over and over and over and over again. One of them is this: replying to someone when they ask me, how do I lose 10 pounds without exercising and eating healthy? So I, of course, have a template response for that person. Or, how do I work with you without buying anything? That's what they want to do. So, of course, I have a template response, but I tweak it out. I change it to be personal to their name. And then I may put something personal relative to what they said, like the first sentence might be something relative to what they said. And then the rest of the message is what I would tell someone. Here's another one that I always get. I am working to build this business and I can't get training from my coach. If you could just take me under your wing, I promise I will be a rock star. Just mentor me and I promise I will do everything you say. I get that message every day. And if I did mentor every person that ever came to me and asked that, then I would not be able to function in life, because how can I do that for every person that's coming to me and asking? They think they're the only person in the world asking me for that, but I'm getting that message every time. So rather than me being that jerk, because if I want to just say in my mind, I'm saying, well, I can't mentor you. I'm sorry, you're not personally sponsored with me, so I personally can't dive into your business with you and mentor you. So what I've created is a template email, because my goal is to not be a jerk. I don't want that person to leave that conversation and say, what an ass. She's won't even give me any advice or anything. So I want to help them. I do want to help them, but I can't personally mentor them. So one of my template response messages would be that, thank you so much. I really appreciate, of course, that you thought of me to reach out to, because I am, of course, that I'm giving them thanks, and of course, and then letting them know why it's kind of painfully hard for me to be able to personally mentor them. And to give you some idea, why is it painfully hard for me to personally mentor someone that's not personally working with me directly? It's the same thing as someone wanting that magic pill for weight loss. There is no, here, take this and your business will be $1 million business. There isn't that. So for me to personally work with someone, I don't know why they signed up in the business. I don't know what their life consists of. I don't know if they have a job. I don't know if they have kids. I don't know if they drive the school bus and then, do all these sport practices. I don't know if they can build this really quick. I don't know if they have no network. I don't know what their social platforms are. I don't know if their spouse supports them. I don't know what their goals are. I don't know what training they've done. I don't know if they don't walk their talk. I don't know all this stuff. And for me to go and say, okay, let's sit down on the couch and figure this out, I can't do that. So for me to be able to give a magic pill and say, yes, take this pill and you'll be successful in the morning, it's not possible. So my suggestion is to always create those template responses and tell them, thank you so much, of course, but there's all these factors that are so random that there's no possible way I can tell you what to do immediately and you can be mentored. But this is what you can do. And then I wrote out a full detailed explanation. Here is some training that I know is available to you from the company in training. Here is training that I provide for free here on Periscope, on YouTube, on my blog. So I've got all this training. So I wrote down exactly where they should go, and then I don't need to write that anymore, because now that's a template. So you have to create those templates so that you don't get frustrated and roll your eyes so many times, because there's going to be that time that you will respond to someone and they're not going to like how you responded, and they're going to bash you horribly, and you're going to ruin your reputation. Your reputation is the most important thing to protect when you're a leader. And as a leader myself in the business, I want to make sure that I protect my leadership reputation as much as possible. And I'm not a pushover. No one can walk over me. And I will stand, of course, confidently strong and choose how I'm going to build my business. I don't build my business according to the way that the company tells me to build my business. I build the business the way I feel it's best to build my business and the culture of the people that I'm creating. So I know that much, and I want to protect that. But that one day when you're busy and you're kind of in a bad mood, you got in a fight with your spouse and you're in a bad mood and you're here and you get that email from someone, and you respond back saying, I can't, you're not my personal coach. I can't do it. You have to go to your coach. Bye. Then you're a jerk forever. You can't change that. So make sure you're protecting yourself by creating templates, even in those moments when you want to say what you want to say, but you can't. Now, one of the people that works for me, or not works for me, she used to work for me, but she is one of my top coaches within my company with me. And she took over one of my positions. When I quit my profession with Chalene Johnson with Powder Blue Productions, she took over my job, and her name is Mindy. And so Mindy took over my job along with 2 other people. So the job I was doing with Chalene, the one job I had, they had to have 3 people do it. Yes, I was a workaholic. I did a lot. So she took that over. Mindy's very kind-hearted. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, her name is Mindy Lawhorn. She's in PIO, if you do PIO. She's the modifier for Turbo Jam. Super awesome. But she can be super strong. But when you're dealing with entrepreneurs who demand things from you at any moment's notice, because to tell you the truth, that's what happens. Because when entrepreneurs have a moment to do the work, They need to know this information right now. And so they jump on you to get that information right away. And your response is critical. So many times, one of the techniques that I had to quickly teach Mindy, or she would burn out, was to learn the delete key. Yeah, sorry. Some of you guys who worked for me now are knowing what happened to those emails, because this is what happens. Many times, many people that are working with you, they will ask you a question where you read it and you go, seriously? If you just opened up the team page, the answer's right there. Or, oh my gosh, you're asking me that when we did a whole hour-long training on this and it's housed here and I emailed it to you and I even drove to your house and played it on a big screen in front of your house and you still don't know the answer? If you get those people that just don't want to look, and they know because you've trained them, that's a whole other topic. You trained them how to respond, because when they texted you, you always responded. They texted you again, let me respond. They emailed you, let me respond. You've trained people on how you're going to work with them. And so Mindy just wanted to do a great job. And she would respond immediately to everyone on all the stuff that they should just open up their manual and see the answer, or go to their website and see the answer. And so I told her, don't respond right away, because I'm guilty of that myself. I love to give people their answers. And so I told her, if it's an email where seriously that person will figure it out if you don't immediately email them back the answer, because you're training them like Pavlov's dog, just delete the email. They will figure it out because they need to know it. And they know that the answer is there. So don't always respond so quickly, because sometimes you're not in the right mindset. Tell me this. I would love to know this, because I want to know if you're just like me or not. Have you ever been in a really bad emotional state, be it very emotionally sad, upset, angry, and then you started doing emails, and those emails were probably not your best emails, and maybe a little negative and short and hurtful maybe? Has anyone done that? You were too emotional. You were pissed. You got an email from someone and you're like, oh no, you did not tell me that. And you went and wrote back and you said, bam, bam, there you go. And then some time passed and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I sent that. And you want to take it back? Same thing, even in a positive sense. When someone is immediately coming to you where you know that they are just being lazy and that the answer has been there and it's really simple, don't reply right away. Give it time, because then that's either going to, I always let like a day pass. So I'm not going to be that jerk and never respond to them, because obviously I want to make sure it's something that they know I'm supporting them with. But I'm not going to respond right away, because guess what I'm going to do? So if they send me a message, say Saturday night, which my rule is I don't work on weekends. So if you want something from me on the weekend, you're not going to formally get it, because I already told you I don't really work Friday evening through Sunday. I'll do this stuff. I might sit at my computer, but I'm not formally going to do work. So if you need something from me on the weekend, you're not going to get it till Monday. So if they sent me a desperate text on Saturday or email, and then they need something that I know is available, I'm not responding until Monday. Hey, just checking in. Obviously, I'm getting back into work week here. Just checking to make sure you got that okay. So that's one other big, huge tip. So the first one is brainstorm all the repetition in your business, the stuff that you do over and over and over again, and build a template or a training on it. Okay? One day you'll have hours like that. Yeah, I didn't have those hours in the beginning. Obviously, I've been doing this job now for 7 years that I can electively choose not to work. Obviously, throughout like Monday through Thursday, I predominantly work more so through the day. And I, of course, sprinkle in working out and teaching. But I don't like to really schedule phone calls at night, as well as I don't schedule from Friday evening through Sunday, just because, again, I need to protect why I was doing this in the first place. So that's one of the big tips is you're going to create templates so you don't need to keep typing over and over and over again everything that you keep saying. Now, that's one big tip. The next big tip is if you are doing something in your business over and over again, and it can be filmed in a video or recorded as an audio to start them off in the training, then do that. So that's, for instance, what I've done in a getting started call. Brainstorm in your business. What is the type of activity that you do over and over again? Not so much just, again, the templates of the email responses or anything like that, but more so the training. So to give you an example on where I've done is whenever I start a new rep with my business, I always get them started in a certain pattern. Now, this is a big, huge obstacle for many entrepreneurs. They just don't have a clear-cut line on how to get a rep started. For some reason, I don't know why. You know that that's the critical step for someone to have success. So why don't you have a system built around the critical point of someone's success, the onboarding part? That's the most important part. So I have coaches all the time that come to me and they sign up a person and they freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, what do I do again? Where do I send them an email? What do I send them to? Where do I plug them into? And then like another month or two passes and then they get another one person. Oh my gosh, all right, so what do I do again? I got someone new again. What do I do? If you don't have a clear-cut system when you sign someone up to get them started, you are going to never build your business. You have to have that clear system. So when I'm looking at, for me, I was getting burned out because I was running these 1.5 to 2 hour long getting started phone calls. Because what I was doing was teaching them about their website, teaching them about the information about the company, teaching them how to set up their bio, teaching them all the basics, basically the housekeeping. Then I would teach them about how to make money in the business. Then I would also start setting up the processes of what they're going to do. This phone call was 1.5 to 2 hours. Put yourself in the mindset. Have you ever gone to a meeting when you first started a job and you were like in a 2 hour meeting and they just kept throwing more at you and you're like, I can't do this job. I can't do this job. That's what you're doing to your people when you keep bombarding them with so much shit when they get started. Stop it. Break it down in little bite-sized chunks. They don't need to know that much. So when you're building a system around it, do I suggest making a system before you start recruiting or add to the system as you go? So it depends on which business you're in. So for instance, in a multi-level marketing or network marketing, whatever business you want to call it, that there's probably a system already established. So you, as a brand new entrepreneur representing a company, why do you need to reinvent the wheel when probably your sponsor or your upline sponsor has already created a wheel? Hopefully, if they're proficient enough. So for instance, if you work with me, that's what I do. I am the person that will create a system for you to follow. So for those of you who are part of my organization, Platinum Presenters, you know I created a whole training suite for you to log in, and it starts you off with a 14-day jumpstart training. Every day, only one little video gets leaked out to you because I know human nature. Human nature is, all right, let me binge watch because it's like Netflix. Let me just binge watch this training. All right, I watched all 14 days. Now what am I supposed to do? They don't know what to do. So you don't want to give it to them all at once. Only give them a little bit at a time, and that's it. So when I was getting people started, those calls were so big and long, and it confused the heck out of them because I was teaching them so much. So one of the first steps that I did, this was before, was I just did a screen share training, teaching them how to set up their website, kind of get the housekeeping stuff out of the way. And then when they did that video and also ordered the product that they were going to be on, then I got them on the phone. I wasn't going to get on the phone with someone unless they showed that they were on product, because I've done that. I've gotten burned from training people who promise that they're going to get active and rock this business like you've never seen, and then they never jump off, and then they disappear. So I used to do it like that. But now what I do is I have it built within my 14-day training system that they log in to the training site. They start with their setup on the day one. And each day is a different topic of training. But within the 14 days, they have assignments. Some assignments back due to me, and then another assignment to schedule a phone call with me. So that's what they're going to do, is they're just going to follow the system, and it's in bite-sized bites. Now, does it 100% protect everyone from being overwhelmed? Nope, because human nature. Even though, again, I'm giving this little simple system of 14-day, and I tell them in their one email, don't do anything but just this 14-day jumpstart right now. Trust me. Don't look around YouTube. Don't search in your company's office. Don't do any of that. Focus on just what you're going to get started with, and that's it. But guess what human nature does? Is they just start looking at shiny things, and they look around to see what that person's doing. Oh, maybe I should do that. Now I should listen to this call, or I should go into that website and confuse myself more. That's what happens. So it's not a 100% guarantee, but it is going to protect you from getting burned out. So to recap all of this, as we go and finish this up, the first thing to make sure that you don't burn yourself out in your business is to create templates, is to create template messages so you don't need to type all the time. You are going to create a brainstorm list of all the types of emails that you answer all the time. And when you can say, okay, I always answer this one when someone asks me, what is it I do? So I'm going to write, what is it that I do? Then the other email I always answer is, how much is it and how can I be a part? So how much is it and how can I be a part? And the other email I always get is that person who wants me to personally mentor them, but I can't because they're not working with me directly. Write that down. So start writing down all the emails you always get over and over and over and over again. Then just create a template response for that and save it. So I think Evernote, you can save it. Like I said, in Facebook like pages, you can save your replies over there. You can create your own custom reply in a like page in Facebook. Or I use sticky notes. So even, for instance, whenever I'm starting a new person, I have the text that I start them off when I'm adding them into my training sites as a template. I don't need to type anything over. It's always a copy paste. That's going to save you so much time. Then remember, the bonus tip is to save yourself some time, possibly use that delete key, and don't immediately respond to someone who's asking you a redundant question that you know they know better. They're just being lazy right now. They should actually open up the training site and see it right there. So don't immediately respond to someone who's asking you a question because they know that you'll immediately text them back. Don't immediately text back. You're training them how you're going to work with them. And that one time that you don't respond back to them right away, do you know how much they're going to go and stalk your house and call every phone you have and email everywhere you have in your world? That's the thing. You train them that you will always respond right away. And then you're going to be mad because now they're stalking you everywhere. It's how you train them. So brainstorm your list of emails. Now brainstorm your list of activity that you do in your business over and over and over again, and you get so tired of it. Create training videos, checklists, audios. I create a lot of audios on SoundCloud because you can do that for free. SoundCloud, and then grab the little link, and then you can always send that off to someone. So how you train people how to treat you completely, Katie. Exactly. How many templates maximum? There's no maximum. You can have your assistants do this as well. Because again, you are writing it in your words so that you can then train, if you have an assistant or someone who's working with you in your business, this is what I need to have happen. So you're basically training this whole process that it's not you always working like a dog to make this happen, because you are totally trying to streamline systems in your business. So those master templates is critical for that success. Okay? Does that make sense? So brainstorm. Brainstorm what you're constantly writing, answering for emails, and also brainstorm the type of activity that you always do in your business and create a system training for it. And if you don't want to be on video because you don't like doing video right now, do audio. Do audio and create a checklist. Just go open up a Word document, get those little bullet points that are the boxes, and create a checklist that you can send them an audio link and a checklist to get started. And that's going to save you so much time. It's going to prevent you from being so burned out and angry and quickly responding to people. Hopefully that makes sense. So you guys have any questions as we finish this out? Yeah, SoundCloud is awesome. I use SoundCloud for my training groups, for my fitness training groups, as well as with my business training groups as well. Brainstorm, yep, you got it right on. Master templates, create a system. So again, everything that you type in everything that you are creating. All right, so you don't have to be super successful before you can start leading as you want to be in the future. So this is your business. You can be a professional right from the get-go. So make sure that you focus on building your business how you want it to be, not what you think it should be because everybody else is doing it. How do you want it to be, and how do you want the people to be treated, and how do you want the culture of it to be? So if you don't have success, you don't need to go out there and pretend that you're successful. You basically lead from the front, letting people know, I'm getting started. I'm still learning in the process, but what I figured out so far is this. So you're basically letting people know you're not perfect, which I'm not perfect. I'm constantly learning and tweaking, but you're putting it out there and saying, I'm going to lead, and this is what I found. I keep discovering, keep tweaking, keep getting better. You know, that term "fake it till you make it" is grown, and I'm not saying that's a wrong one because I know a lot of people will use that. I don't think you really need to fake success because that is a deterrent sometimes. So I think you just have to stand and believe in your own self and be confident, deliver with passion, and be honest and humble with people. So it's not that you have to fake your success, go stand next to a Mercedes in a parking lot and pretend that that's your car. That's lame. You don't want to do that. And guess what? People do that all the time. And that's not good. That's actually a distractor when people constantly brag about what they have. So for instance, I just get turned off by it myself. I don't put pictures of, look at my house, look at my cars, and look at my stuff. I don't do that because that's not me. I'm not that person. It's my life. You're gonna see it, but I'm not saying look at it, which some people will do. Their promotional material for themselves is them leaning on a BMW, then the license plate says, I earned it. You know, that's the thing, is you got to convey the image that you want to be. So I don't think you need to fake it until you make it. I think you just need to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm going to lead. I will learn. I will break things down for you guys. I'll probably stumble, but I'm excited about this. You just have to lead with confidence. And I totally believe it's a turnoff. For me it is, but you know, for some people it's not. Some people need to see that. And those are the people that I personally don't want to work with in my business, because then I know that they're driven by money and not the real purpose of what I'm doing my business for. So some people, that is an attractor, because that's why they're jumping from one business to the next, because they're just trying to make as much money as they can in one. And if it doesn't work out, then they try another, and then they try another. So I'm looking for long term. I don't want to work like a dog all the way through my 70s. I don't want to do that. Hopefully this has been helpful, and start thinking, brainstorming those tips. Get those templates done. Get your systems done. You are going to be living large when you get that done. Thanks again.